Both these players are amazing, and we're off immediately. Oh my goodness, here we go.
You're gonna rip it already. We just watched, what was it? Gammy just beat Hurst, so he's coming off a hot win here.
Yeah, Gammy on a high, and you know what? He beat Pincus too, so I think that he's leading his group.
Yep.
If I were to, yeah. So Gammy is the person to stop here. Let's see if Witch can do it. Witch high up on his board, but both players have beautiful screens. Oh man, nothing coming through for Witch.
Yeah, that's just the fate of the blocks of that game.
Yeah, Gammy taking first game. No problem.
Gammy's doing some reversal builds here.
Yeah, I love to see it. Doesn't work.
Yeah, he probably would have taken too much time trying to get that to work together. So I agree with just breaking something. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, he does double cube it. Oh, and he gets the perfect piece, but actually, just kidding, it doesn't.
Yep. It's a nice hit by Witch though. So Witch has a non-rev and Gammy has a reverse. So we're gonna see that come into play again. You can see Gammy, he gets a green. Oh, it's gonna get blocked.
Does get blocked off. He does get the yellow though, so he's not in too bad of a spot.
Yeah,
just kidding. It's done.
That's what sucks about playing Falchions sometimes, is you get hit like that, especially with like high duels, you pretty much got your center, and if you don't get your center, the game's, it's pretty likely it's chalked.
Gammy with a really high breaker stack here.
Yeah,
just breaking it. Good stuff.
I think Witch might have flubbed it a little bit.
It does block Witch from his pieces though to trigger his opener. So if Gammy can get a nice rebuild off, it looks like he's caring about a clean board, right? We're big on clean over combo around these parts.
Oh, if Gammy put another yellow on top of that
Gammy can just send over anything right now. If he just send that yellow.
Yep.
It's so hard to understand other people's board states. But yeah, break the yellow. Here we go. He finally does. But it looks like it's just one turn too late. Oh, and maybe not, because he has a beautiful follow-up. But Witch finally gets the blue piece.
That's his piece. I mean, I think if Gammy just sent anything a little sooner, he probably would have won. But
yeah, and again, that's what we mean by analyzing other people's boards is incredibly important. It's going to give you such a huge edge. Speaking of edges, Gammy getting hit in 2 and 3 with a nice sword.
Yeah, Witch is going to take that one.
Yeah, 1-2 to Witch. Witch clapping back.
Yeah, Gammy had some missed opportunities there. He could have sent that yellow and he could have tripled it a few times, but I don't think he didn't see the combo. Probably would have won the game, but maybe a little bit of tunnel vision there. He's got a good build here with this green. Yeah, he flubbed it a little bit.
Let's see. It's not looking fantastic,
Which has a good side build here. Okay, Gammy fixes it. Let's get a similar combo.
Yeah, not looking too bad. Pretty neutral board states here. Nothing too crazy going on. Really wish Witch just broke that off. It would have been a nice triple on the blue.
Yeah.
Again, would have been a sprinkle. But you know what? His board is really clean. He's got any option here. Oh, the thing is, Witch went a little bit too fast there because he missed a beautiful combo the next turn. That's sometimes the problem with going too fast. Doesn't matter though, because he gets the beautiful piece the next turn. He doubles it for free. Let's see if he can somehow connect these blues. That's definitely ideal. He needs a red. He's fishing for it. Gammy, meanwhile on his screen,
to work with here.
Sending some pieces. Yeah. One thing I will say about Witch is he definitely keeps his board clean, or it just seems like it always works out that way.
Sometimes
always has big blocks.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna. That might.
Oh my God! Speaking of massive blocks, that's hitting beautifully. A nice little 3-sword on Gammy's screen, and look at that sick follow-up. Amazing stuff, but Gammy can chain clear out. He's getting the pieces that he needs.
He did a really good job of blocking his strikes, so Gammy's not in a terrible spot anymore. I mean, that looked impossible to come back from.
Yeah, no, definitely. But you know what? It all depends on your board state. If you have a high block like that, you can soak up a lot of the damage. Playing defensive is definitely playing off, especially against somebody like Witch. And Gammy loses, though, despite all that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's tough.
I think
Tough,
what's
but
notable
close game.
is you said this one time in the last OSL. Even though it looks like somebody gets perfect pieces, a lot of players aren't going to use them the right way. So it might be a gift to some people, and to some people, it doesn't work out. It just depends on who it is and who's putting the pieces down. So even though it looks like just a lucky piece, there's a lot of room for error and not to use it.
I'm not a huge fan of Gammy's builds here, but it does end up working out.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like he sacrifices a lot of his middle there, which is super important, of course. And you know what? I'm definitely somebody that is. I definitely do that as well. Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of doing stuff like that. Sometimes I care so much about the opener, I'll just barrel down pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as important to have like a good board state after you send the opener. If your board is terrible afterwards, it's only going to benefit you so much.
Gammy getting gifted a free triple here.
Yeah,
hitting Witch's board pretty nice. But Witch
it's
with a massive oh my god, another 3-sword.
He was waiting for it for a long time.
That we know and love. You know what? Jazz mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Jazz mentioned it before, and maybe there is a bit of rock, paper, scissors going on here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Witch has a more aggressive play style. He always has.
Both going to be sending
the same
the same exact combo.
Witch gets the better
Witch sending... Yeah. Definitely a little bit more sprinkles there.
Yeah, Witch does a little bit of color matching here, and he's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, as I said, I think Gammy turned around a little bit. I'd say Gammy's in the better position here now. Witch has some scattered breakers that aren't really going to lead to too much, so...
It's so crazy to see how board states change within maybe 3 pieces. I mean, so much can change. It's crazy. Yeah, within seconds,
you look over and say, that person's losing, and then they're winning.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, there's no way he's coming back from that. And then it's like, 3 pieces later, and he's fine.
And he's back.
Okay. And that's what's fun about sword fighting, too.
Yeah, you got comeback mechanics. I mean, I'm not talking bad on the Rumble people, but in Rumble, you don't have a comeback mechanic. So there's always a chance.
This is a sword fighter only stream.
There's always a chance to win a sword fight. I wouldn't say the same about a Rumble game.
Right. Gammy finally beating Witch there.
Yeah, it brings one back.
An end to that streak. He's pulling away quite a bit, so he's definitely breathing a sigh of relief, especially if he takes this game next. He's got a nice little follow-up build here. He's trying to build up to that blue neutral, but he can't get it.
So it gets ruined.
Yeah, unlucky stuff, but you know what? He's getting a lot of breakers. He can store that green in the yellow.
Wait, look, if he builds up to that yellow...
He did a nice combo off here. He does get the gifted, but Witch getting off a huge sprinkle.
And it's all going to offset.
And nothing cascades down and breaks.
Nothing matches.
Oh, but it's okay, though. I think Gammy having access to his blue here, if he still gets it, he might be able to get out of this.
He needs to race for it.
It all cascades down.
He needs to just go as fast as he can to get this blue.
Yeah, he's racing for it. Oh man, but that's it. He doesn't get it. Well played the Witch.
Yeah, I mean, Witch...
He's keeping up the pressure.
Yeah, Witch had tons of stuff to send next anyways. I mean, he was just in the driver's seat there.
Yeah.
5-2? Yeah.
5-2. Witch
here's
pulling
another
ahead.
big thing. Witch building off of those breakers. Gammy built off of a neutral. So even though Gammy got his off first, you know, Witch could have triggered his basically at any time. And you'd much rather have that than waiting for a certain color the whole game. Now Gammy's kind of on the back footage. Some scrambled colors here. He builds that blue. If Gammy builds the blue and puts a red in column 3, then he is... Yeah, he's just going to choose to break it.
No, he just opts to break it. He wants to go for some momentum here, but it's tough to know really where your opponent's at and whether they have defensive breakers up on the board. So it really is a crapshoot some of the times. Which being here... Oh, this is pretty massive. Huge. Oh my god. It hits Gammy's board so well. Which, super in the driver's seat. This guy is killing it right now.
He's kind of playing like the old Witch we know. He hasn't been playing a ton recently. There's not a John for him, but he's always been a hyper aggressive player. You know anything about Witch? He goes for some questionable combos sometimes, and if they work, he wins. If they don't, so be it.
He
So,
loses. Yeah, he's a go big or go home kind of guy.
Exactly.
And that's my favorite kind of play style. If I'm Gammy, I'm breaking that blue immediately.
Same.
I feel like it definitely would have given him a lot more to work with there. That's sort of tough, but it puts Witch up super high on his board.
Really bad. Yeah, Witch is in a really bad position.
Oh, Gammy with a nice follow-up, though. Will it put him to sleep? Who knows? It's anyone's game now. He's so close.
Witch
really needs a red.
Fish for this red.
Gammy with the follow-up, and I think he's done here, but it came with a dry strike. No, and he's done.
See how that game, Gammy hit him with a small opener just to disrupt, and that was it. That's all it took. So sometimes that bites you. Sometimes the other person, their whole screen breaks when you do that. That time it works perfectly for Gammy. Yeah, definitely like Witch's opener a little bit better here.
Yeah, it looks a lot more clean. That is one thing that I'm seeing a big difference on, is that Witch is just consistently keeping a really, really clean board. And look at that beautiful follow-up on a double. It's not going to do a ton of damage to Gammy's screen, but Gammy has to get rid of a lot of the breakers that he had stored, so it's not ideal. Again, he's giving himself life here by clearing out. It really is the only decision that he can make. The main problem, though, is it's giving Witch all that ammunition, right? So, again, though, Witch's board not looking too crazy in terms of ammunition. And Gammy, though, look at this. Again, just like we were talking about before, oh, man, he wants to double it so bad. He gets a little bit greedy here.
It's not going to work. Oh,
it's super risky. It's not going to work, and he's going to have to break the green. Oh, man, Gammy getting too greedy there. He really wanted to double it, and I feel like when you're down that many games, it's definitely not the right decision. That's tough.
Now,
3-7, Witch on match point.
Again, most of sword fighting at a high level just comes down to choices, right? Are you going to go for it, or are you just going to break? Are you going to play safe or not? And sometimes, depending on how you're feeling the game, you go a little risky. I think that was pretty risky for Gammy, but it is what it is. That was that decision.
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, really liking Witch's opener here. Good stuff. He's going to be able to build a good amount with this. It's not going to cascade down. So good work by Witch there. He puts down a blue neutral. He does break it. Let me see if he can get access to it.
He's going to have to single, but...
Yeah, he just has to single it. He has to get rid of the combo. But Gammy with a massive duel, and it hits so well on Witch's board.
Perfectly. Oh, but Witch...
Gammy with nice follow-ups.
Witch has...
Yeah.
Witch is out. Yep.
Yeah.
Again, in a matter of seconds, Witch looked like he was going to lose. Now Gammy's on the back, but Gammy doesn't have much to work with here.
Yeah, not a ton of ammunition. But again, let's see what happens in the next 5 seconds.
yeah, let's give it 10 more and see what happens. Sword fighting is a very swingy game.
That's what makes it so exciting.
I mean, yeah, it's swords. Swing.
Beautiful stuff by Witch. Hitting Gammy so well, but look at all of these breakers. Beautiful cascade down. And again, just like we were talking about, the game is so swingy. It's insane. We're on a seesaw.
Oh, spicy!
Oh, nice. Now we're just in stabilizing. Feel like nobody's got anything good to work with here. This is my favorite part of the game. This is where we match colors. The most fun thing ever.
Yep. My favorite.
Ooh.
Even though I suck at it sometimes. What's losing there?
I'm a little bit surprised by that.
You know what I think the most swingy playground
taking that one.
toy is, though?
Again, we were talking earlier before about variants. One thing a lot of people like to talk about is obviously, you know, the different types of swords, the different types of sword patterns and stuff, counters and stuff like that. But I would definitely say the most... I guess the thing that has the most variance is really what blocks come down from the screen, right? Whatever Puzzle Pirates is granting you, that's the biggest thing. You know, you can't change that. Sometimes if your opponent's sending green and you only get blue pieces, right? There's not much that you can do. So obviously, the biggest thing and what separates a lot of good players from great players is doing their best to kind of increase their odds to win slowly but surely, right? So minimizing those mistakes and just slowly increasing those win percentages, right? And the way you do that is obviously through speed, through consistency, through strikes, through analyzing your opponent's board state, through seeing combos, when to combo, when to knock to combo. There's so many little things to kind of give you that edge. But again, at the end of the day, you really are at the mercy of the blocks. Speaking of that, Witch with a massive fucking 3-sword. Oh my god, and he's gonna take it. That's it.
That's
Witch, the king of 3 swords.
Yeah, he hit 3 massive 3 swords in that set. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, 3 sets are just, they're RNG. It's luck based. There's like a low percentage chance that they hit. So sometimes you go for a big 3 sword like that, and one of your swords just disappears completely. That's just how it works. That was nice by Witch. I'm not surprised that he played well, but for how little he's been playing lately, he's I'd say
honestly, I thought that Gammy was more favored here.
Yeah, I think
I definitely think, especially Gammy coming off the heels of beating Witch and beating Pinkus. Again, very close games against very good players. Really impressive stuff by Witch, and it's really nice to see. I hope that like a fully full potential Witch is here to play, and it looks like it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to make OSL that much more excited to watch and to commentate.
Maybe he's learned some
I'm all
tricks
here
from
for it.
Apex Legends that he's applying to this.
Yeah. No, he's been spamming a lot of Apex, so maybe it's paying off.
He's a menace.
Those first-person shooters really translate super well into it's like a almost 20-year-old fire game. Yeah.
Same thing.
A colorful Tetris with two pieces. Nice little cascade down here from Gammy. It's going to be decent duels here on Witch's board. Going to get rid of his breakers that he had stored up. Again, nice follow again by Gammy.
Some people might also say, like, why are they even playing at this point? Well, they're still playing for win percentage. Like, if they have a close group, winning games is still very important.
Yeah, so if it ever comes down to a tiebreaker in the group or anything like that, it's going to be really important that your win percentage is good, because the person with the higher win percentage will move along. And nice stuff there by Gammy, keeping it close. And I think that this group, especially win percentage, is going to be super important, because all these games are basically going to game 15 to determine the set for the most part.
I think this group's going to be really wild.
It's going to come down to the wire, 100%.
Yeah. Especially with the Gammy versus that's going to play a really key role.
Wow,
in this
beautiful
group.
look there by Gammy. I love that donkey combo. That was super nice. Look at the opener difference. It's awesome.
Watch Witch's board state. Look at that. Nothing to work with. Literally nothing.
Nothing to work with. But again, if you get a blue and you get a yellow in that column 3, then you're chilling for the most part. You can connect that red. But again, he's gonna have to sprinkle his way.
Yeah.
Gammy's just sending strike after strike. And again, it's a risk, right? It's a risk to go for, I'm gonna break early here and try to get him to the top of the board, right? He might get a ton of breakers, or maybe he only gets a few breakers. So then going for that option of chain clearing early on and not saving and storing your breakers for a combo for when he breaks out, that's a risk, and that's a decision that you have to make. Some people want to do it, some people don't want to do it. And that's, one of the decisions you have to make in games like this. And the way that you determine that is really, some people kind of just, they don't really know what they're doing, and they just kind of go with the flow. There's no thought behind it.
They just do things.
Yeah, they just kind of do things. Questy will be one person that just totally admits to something like that.
Yeah.
He likes to feel the breakers. He likes to feel the swords. He does not care, which I respect. But
I respect it a lot.
Some people have more thought that go behind it, and it's a very methodical sort of thing, right? It's again, no shade at Krusty. He would admit to this too on stream. Let me tell you, okay? He's the first person to say this, by the way.
Yeah, no,
he's the first person to say something like this.
Krusty doesn't know how some of the swords work even, but it doesn't really matter that much.
He's got the sixth sense, and you know what? A lot of people don't have that. So
yeah, he's got the important part down. Make big block and then break big block. That's really the important thing.
And then combine big block with white color block.
Yeah.
And that's sword fighting in a nutshell.
That's the important part. The rest of it,
I'm not in love with Gammy's board here. I feel like he messed up his 5 column quite a bit.
Also not in love with Witch's board, but there we go.
Hey, this will change the for that red anyway, because look at that. Yeah. It's in 2-3.
So again, like Witch, I didn't watch his POV that whole time, but again, when you're waiting for a neutral, or you're waiting for a breaker, that's what we always say, building off of a neutral or building off of a breaker. Like if you have a breaker you're built off of, you get any of that color and you break it. But like Witch was waiting for a neutral that whole time, you're at the mercy of the game. It decides not to give you that red, it's over.
Yeah, it's pretty common knowledge, but from people that have no idea about sword fighting, obviously you want to build off of the breaker, right? The swords themselves, so that just because neutrals are so much more likely to come by as opposed to breakers, right?
Exactly.
And Gammy, beautiful follow up there, but not gonna do a ton to Witch's board, except put him down a straight line, but it doesn't matter because Witch gets the Witch piece.
He got
the
one
Witch
a little
piece
before
is
that,
getting
too.
the perfect breaker at the perfect time.
We don't mean that in a
Witch-
mean way. We just randomly
Right.
made that because people got frustrated.
We coined the
losing
phrase-
to Witch because they couldn't kill him.
Yeah, or again, he is
Poor guy.
so go big or go home, and I love that kind of play
Flag.
style.
Yep.
And
Right there.
he's gotten it so many times where he's kind of coined the phrase of, I get a good piece at the
I win.
perfect time, and it pays off. Gammy, good job keeping it pretty close, getting some, a few more wins there. So it's 9-6 is the final score. Good job to both these players. That was super exciting.
That was good matches. I mean, Witch definitely he excelled. I didn't think he was gonna play as well as he did because he's a little rusty, but he showed up.
Yeah.
Damn, I was choking so hard. You know what? 90% of those games I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie.
We were just talking about Krusty saying Krusty putting pieces down, not knowing what he's doing a lot of the time. No, I think you had some combos that you missed because of speed, but we talk about that. Everybody says like go fast, go fast, go fast, but there's downsides.
That's
to
the
it.
trade-off.
Downsides to it. But no, you guys both played really well. I mean, Gammy, you haven't been playing that much either, so how well you've been playing, and especially after the win versus her, so I don't think you have too much to be upset about.
GG's Witch.
Yeah, you know what? This makes this group so much more interesting too. Gammy, you were
does.
definitely heading things with your wins off of Pincus and Hearst. And now Witch, it's like it really is a rock, paper, scissors group. This is one of the groups that I was super excited for, and it's definitely not disappointing.